Welcome to Dear Book Coach. I'm Terry Thayer, certified book coach, certified focusing professional, and author.
I am Carrie Savage, writer, certified book coach, and project manager.
And I'm Stephanie Detlefs, writer and certified book coach.
This is a friendly advice space as you plan, draft, and revise your novel. In each episode, we answer a question submitted by a writer like you with 3 different points of view, and you get to pick the advice that resonates with you. However, today we're going to answer my question because we're all book coaches and we are all also being book coached. So I want to know what is the best and the worst about being book coached. So let's go with the hardest first. What is the hardest part about being book coached? Carrie?
Well, I had one question or one answer to this question, and then I changed my mind. So it's, there's a lot of things that go into being book coached, of course, but I think the hardest thing for me was and is getting to that place of vulnerability. Sometimes that is so not easy for me. And that's just me personally, who I am. It has nothing to do with the person who's book coaching me because she can bring it out in me. But it's just really, really hard for me to really get to that place of vulnerability. So I'm very, very thankful that I feel like I have a safe space in which to be able to do that. And yeah, I think that's the hardest thing for me is the just getting to that point and staying there long enough to get the good stuff that comes out of being there. It's exhausting sometimes. I feel like, honestly, even though we're not doing therapy, I'll finish up the session and be like, oh, that was like therapy. But it's the best kind of exhausted, right? Where you feel like you've had some good breakthroughs. So I think that's the hardest part for me.
Well, you need that vulnerability in order to write a good book, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Well, for me, it's the double-edged sword of accountability. So accountability is the reason why I originally hired a book coach, because I am an idea person. I get a lot of ideas and I don't follow through with them. That's sort of my MO. So I needed somebody that I'm like a personal trainer at the gym that I had paid money to show up. So and the accountability piece is amazing and wonderful, but I also struggle a little bit with the I have to do some mindset work with myself around it so that I don't then resent the fact that I'm paying her when I don't want to do the work. So yeah, that's, I think, the biggest challenge for me. And it's all in my own head. It has nothing to do with the coach. It is just this cycle of thoughts that I have that lead to things like procrastination and the negative self-talk that goes with that. So accountability with a book coach is amazing and wonderful, and it's so helpful. And it forces me to do some thought management in my own head too. Yeah.
Yeah, those are both really good. And I find what my book coach has done for me is make me do the hard stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been writing this book for quite a while, and I can write, but am I actually writing a story that makes sense and that is saying what I want to say? So going through the blueprint exercises and making the inside outline. And I realized now too, that the scenes that she wants to see are scenes that I've been avoiding to write because they look too hard. It's like, I don't think I can actually capture that on the page. And she's like, oh boy, I can't wait to read that. Great, me too. So yeah, just like, being forced is a hard way to put it, but because we're only forcing ourselves to do it, nobody's forcing us to, but being encouraged and to do those hard things that, again, will make the book better, just like being more vulnerable or getting the writing done. So that's for me is like, yeah, doing the hard stuff that I've been avoiding.
Mm-hmm.
So funny that you say that too, because that is actually my assignment for this week, is to write 2 scenes that in all of my like scaffolding material, my inside outline, all of that is just sort of these placeholders for them. And my book coach is like, I can't wait to read this. Oh, I'm dying to read this. What did she say? What did she say? I'm like, I don't know. So of course my assignment is write those scenes.
Figured out.
Yep.
Well, I like what Terry, what you said really was kind of a perfect blend of what Carrie and I said, because it's the accountability of being vulnerable, right? Like and doing the thing that's hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And having a book coach makes it easier to do the things that's hard. Now we're going to talk about the things we love about having a book coach. And so that's what that's what allows us to be vulnerable and accountable and do the hard things. So Carrie, what's your favorite part about being book coached?
Well, I'm sure like part of it will be the feeling that I get when I'm done with these scenes that I have to write this week. Will just be like, oh, even if, I know they need work, like I will have done a really hard thing. Maybe like they're right up there with, killing off some characters and things like that, in terms of like, these are going to be some pretty emotional, heavy scenes, and it's going to feel really, really good to have at least a draft of those down on paper. And so in tandem with that, I think more generally is just like those aha moments where things click together, where, you've answered a tough question, or there's like a tricky element that has been eluding me that just comes into place because I've had this conversation, or I'm having this conversation with my coach, and we really work down, and she knows the questions that I need to answer that maybe I would have avoided on my own, but she's pushing me to answer them and holding space for me to kind of work through all of that. And then like literally, when we landed on my point, which I've had in many iterations over the course of this book, I was like, I love this. I think I want to get it tattooed on my body. So, like that was a pretty good aha moment. And I think, from both being in the writer's shoes and also in the coach's shoes, like that moment is just, it's so exciting and it feels really, really good. And it's really nice to have someone to share it with as well, because this is such a solitary activity in so many ways that we do. So to have someone to celebrate with you and understand what it means to have reached that point, it's awesome. It's really, really, really cool.
Yeah, I think we can skip over when we do hard stuff and not acknowledge it ourselves, recognition from someone else. And I love what you said about the holding space, because that's super important too. And it's not something we think of as important, but I do think it's important. My book coach said to just put the point on a Post-it on my computer, but tattooing it on your body is a little more extreme, but hey, if it works. Stephanie, what's your favorite part about being book coached?
Well, mine is really kind of a springboard, or just in addition to what Carrie was saying, because it's very similar. I really like having a partner who is maybe not as invested as I am, because that's not possible because I am the writer of it, but is close, like a close second, right? And who believes in the power of the message I'm trying to convey. That to me it's just another, I think, reframe of what Carrie was saying. It's just knowing that somebody is trying to help you get that message out into the world because they believe it too. And the other piece is being able to use that person as a someone to bounce things off of, right? So the back and forth conversation is where those ahas come out of, right? Like, well, whether it comes from me or from the coach, it's just the conversation is what allows that aha to come out. And so that me saying, well, I was kind of thinking this, and them saying that's great, and what if, and then what if, and what if, and then, oh my gosh, what if this? And then it's the right thing, and honestly, knowing that a good book coach is going to tell you if it's not working provides such a sense of security when they're not saying that. right? Because I do a lot of self-doubt stuff in my head, which I already alluded to. This is terrible. No one's ever going to want to read that. But with a coach going, this is great. What you sent me is really working, is like, oh, maybe it can counter the voice in my head a little bit. So yeah, those are mine. Just having that partner.
It's very different than your mother saying, this is great, keep going.
Or a friend or a spouse, like they're going to say that because they don't.
They're going to say it. But
A book coach is not going to not hurt. A book coach is not going to be dishonest in order to protect your feelings.
right. But they're also going to be very enthusiastic. Someone that, like you said, loves your story as much as you do and wants to help get that message out.
Yep. And that's why they're being honest, is because they want you to make it work, and they'll help you figure out how to do that.
Yeah, how to write the best possible book. And like you've said, your book, not their book, but your book. The last thing I would say about it is the power of putting money behind your dream. That I could put this money into landscaping my house or into some vacation or other things. There's lots of we all have lots of things to do with our money, but putting it behind something that's really important to you and as personal as a book is really powerful. I just find, for me anyway, that signals to me, okay, this is serious. And we were just talking before, like, I need to write a check today. This is serious. I'm taking myself seriously. I'm taking my craft seriously. I'm taking my book seriously. And whether that book ever gets to publication or even whether or not it gets finished is kind of irrelevant. I am investing in myself. And so that just has a lot of power, that to put money behind an idea that I have. So that's
you're making a commitment.
Yes, in a different way. I mean, we can all commit like to a critique group or to a certain amount of pages a day or whatever, but it's not the same. For me, anyway, it's not the same. So that's what I say about the power of book coaching. Anybody last thought?
Powerful stuff.
It's worth it.
Yep. Yeah, it really,
Okay.
I mean, all three of us are book coaches and all three of us have book coaches. So.
Yeah. We know that in the book coaching community, a lot of people have book coaches, so we believe in it.
Yes.
So,
wow. I think that is it for today then. So we hope you found some answers that made sense to you, and we consider book coaching at this point in your life and at this point in your book. Remember, you can submit a question anytime at dearbookcoach.com and subscribe to our weekly email. Each month, we randomly choose a subscriber who wins a call with the coach of their choice. So we'll see you next time.